I'm back. I am back. Welcome again to another live, another podcast, another episode, whatever you would like to call it. Timeless Obsession / Crypto Quarter / Crypto Machine Crew / Passion Meets Purpose. It doesn't matter what it's called. The important part is that we actually talk about things that matter in our lives. So, I had the epiphany to spontaneously go live. As you guys know, I already do these live streams with my friend Sasha every Friday in German. Same time, same place, same channel, etc. And over the last couple of years, obviously, we went through in the crypto universe, we went through a bear market. In our daily lives, we went through a little while ago, we went through lockdowns, rules, and all these kind of things. So obviously, what we talk about is things that people don't necessarily always want to hear. And that is why I created this channel, why I created this particular show, whatever you want to call it. And these are both two things that I'm very passionate about. It's timeless obsession. This is something that's a little closer to my heart, and crypto is a part of that. I have many hobbies, I have many obsessions or passions rather, and I believe now that the fire is hot again when people are going completely insane again when it comes down to crypto. When I get DMs, messages, emails, and people are like, "Hey, Dean, by the way, how do I do this?" At a certain point, I have to be honest, it becomes a little bit annoying. It becomes a little bit it's one of those things where people feel very entitled to just text you and right away get all the information, and for me to tell them exactly how to do it, what to do, and just take my time that I apparently have to just, undivided attention for crypto. How do they fill up their bags with their Bitcoin, Ethereum, and everything associated with it? Well, that is one part why we created this channel, so people can come together. People can kind of find and research and everything, because at the end of the day, you are responsible for your own shit. I can't say that either way, especially in this whole crypto industry, especially in this whole new economic scene that's slowly starting to unfold. I've got a couple things that I want to share with you today, not just regarding crypto, but how everything is kind of like shifting in a little bit of a different direction, especially after we have this whole new world of social media and so forth. So the first thing, and I've obviously shared this already before, is I bring it up over here, is our Crypto Machine Crew. Crypto Machine Crew is something that started organically, and it's now very, very strong with over hundreds of people. We had over 150 people in Stuttgart at our first meet and greet, and it was so rewarding and incredible to actually see these people that share the same passion, the same thoughts, not just about crypto, but just in other things like the philosophical part of life. And that really gave me the extra push, the extra kind of like fire to keep going, to help people. And that is really what I love to do. But there's a difference between helping people and you right away know who appreciates it, versus people who feel a little bit entitled and they're like, well, you have to do this for me, and just because I know you, and blah 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 blah. So all those things associated with it. But that's why these chats, these YouTube videos, these streams exist. And I'm just going to give you a little bit of info, and the rest, like I said, you have to do yourself. You have to get into that. But again, I can't stress enough that probably one of the most important phrases now in this year, we're in March 5th, 2024. It's too risky not to get into crypto. And I've shared that same thought, opinion with many other people that I actually had no idea that they would think alike. Their allocations or investments of what they have allocated in terms of finances is surprisingly big. surprisingly big. Not only Bitcoin, what people know about, it's the king of crypto, but that's not the only thing. It's exciting right now because it hit another all-time high today. Another 69,000 with like a tail above, a little sprinkle, couple dollars above, and then it obviously retraced. A little touch, a little kind of like, hey, what's going on over here? So it is obviously exciting. When people send me pictures or screenshots or anything like that, and they say, oh, wow, look, it's an all-time high. It's back, huh? It's like it's still doing good. Is it something to still get into? Dean, what do you think? What should I buy? Where should I buy it? Et cetera, et cetera. Because obviously the majority has not gotten into it since the last bull market or since the last cycle. I remember this time where I was at dinner with my wife, and there was people there like, "Oh, what a coincidence! You're over there," because we posted some picture or story on Instagram, and I was very surprised. It was like, first, it was a coincidence. Oh, we're at the same place. And then shortly after that, people wanted to ask me everything about crypto. And the funny thing is, people always pretend. So this is one of the things which bothers me. People don't have the, I don't know how to call it. People don't have the balls anymore, to be honest, where it doesn't matter if you don't know about something when it comes to crypto. It doesn't matter if you are unaware of certain things in crypto. It doesn't matter how, if you don't know how to acquire it, but you're interested in it. Those are all kind of things that you can talk about and ask me or just have an open conversation. But when there's people that are pretending to know it all, and when they're saying like, "Oh yeah, I just short Bitcoin," buddy, you don't even know where to buy it. So how are you shorting it? And this is the kind of people, when this girl with her husband came and they're just laughing about it. And at a certain point, they're like, "Oh, am I lucky that I didn't buy this other token, in the bear market?" Well, guys, you are all really up for a big, big wake up call because this train isn't stopping, and it left the station a little while ago. Crypto is a whole different kind of thing than the regular stock market. It's a whole different kind of thing than what we know about computers. It's a different thing than what we are used to when it comes down to email, the World Wide Web. And it's a whole different thing um, than anything we've ever used before. People give value to stocks, for example. I had a conversation with a friend of mine. He's saying, well, NVIDIA is doing better than anything. Well, unless we get a little tip from Nancy Pelosi, nobody is buying NVIDIA on the dot. It's probably a long-term investment. And by the time you can you can take out your gains, you're going to be 40 years further, and maybe you made from your 5,000 or 10,000 hard-earned dollars, you can maybe make a fivefold out of it. And if you're very, very lucky, if we have a boom now, what we see with AI, for example, maybe you can do a tenfold. And that's a long time that you're going to have to sit on it, though. Usually that's the case. In tech, everything is a little bit faster. And in crypto, it's even faster than that. It's the high-speed train on steroids with light speed, Star Trek, Star Wars type of technology attached to it. So people still don't want to admit that there is value to cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, even though that people don't want to admit it, because when you put it on a scale, it's a lot safer than gold. Well, but it doesn't do anything. Well, it's like, well, you can transact it. I can transact it to my friends in Dubai, and it's like there in a minute. It's like, well, why wouldn't I do that with a wire? Well, it takes, a couple extra fees with it. It takes a little bit longer. I can do it directly, from my wallet to my friend's wallet, for example. Well, that's for criminals. I'm going to tell you and give you another wake up call that it's maybe only 1% versus the monies that are going in criminal activities in regular wires or cash or money laundering or whatever it is. The art world is, for example, one of those things, but less about controversial conspiracy topics. Back to what's actually real right now. And when someone like Peter Schiff, which I'm more than happy to debate about in terms of all things crypto, when he says, well, gold is the best asset and there's a new all-time high in gold because people want to diversify because they're scared of what's going on with all things inflation, your money is worth less. You earned so much and you worked so hard, and in the bank it's worth less after 5 years, after 10 years. And for people celebrating, for example, this Bitcoin all-time high today, again a little bit over $69,000, it is not a true all-time high. Why? Because if you want to have the same power of value in Bitcoin, or basically then um, transferred in dollars, you're going to have to go a little bit over $77,000. It's between $77,000 and $79,000 to equal the $69,000 from the last 4 years. That sucks. That sucks. And this is what's happening day after day. I was at the bank the other day, and this I had to get some cash, and this lady, after I was almost done with my transaction, she said to me, "It's like, oh look, have you looked into our CD accounts? It's 4.6%. Oh, it's so good. Wow, right?" I was like, "Crypto's better." Okay. Um, she was a little bit flustered when I said that, and I don't understand why she would be flustered, because I will bring all this stuff up in a second. Because now Bank of America and Wells Fargo, it not admitted, they announced it, that they're jumping on the Bitcoin train, only for now for their special wealth clientele. The ETF approval from the SEC was a big thing right now for this run up, when it comes in to all things, comes down to all things crypto. So I'll just go over a little bit of news. At a certain point, we're going to have a little bit more of a conversation with about everything, and I think it's really important for people to keep educating themselves when it comes down to crypto, because everyone is nosy about it. People are just afraid to ask, but everyone is searching the web, seeing how can I do this, because they see this kind of lottery ticket. I'm here to tell you, you won't get fucking rich from Bitcoin. Maybe not even from Ethereum. You get rich from stuff that has not so much hype yet. What was the best time to jump into this whole crypto thing? 10 years ago, when Bitcoin was at 6 cents or under a dollar. Yeah. And people are like, oh, it's not possible, and this and that. You've seen these Twitter messages, these tweets about people, oh, I wish I would have sold it at $16. Why did I sell it at $8? And here we are, over 30K, over 40K, over 60K. We're almost at 70K. And this thing is not going to stop. Of course, it's going to keep going, because there's not enough Bitcoin that can be produced in a day compared to what's being bought up by these huge investment companies, BlackRock, Fidelity, and so forth. So people are very unaware of what's going on, and they think Coinbase is one of the best things to get into crypto, and it's okay. But Coinbase cannot handle all the traffic. So the future of money is here. We're the most trusted place for people and businesses to buy, sell, and manage crypto. Well, I can be all the way against it, because yes, I used Coinbase in the beginning years as well, when I got into all this, and this was like somewhere 2016, give or take. And I'm very grateful. I'm very happy. It's very easy. Check it out. Connect your bank account, load up some cash, buy whatever you want. When you feel like you want to cash out, boom, you exchange it into dollars, and then you send those dollars back to your bank account. It's very simple. It's very easy. People don't need to be worried that it's like, oh, I cannot cash out when I want, and this and that. It's like, guys, it's the same kind of process or similar process as stocks. It's only 10 times better. But this is not real crypto. It's a trading platform. And people that say, hey, I'm a crypto trader, I'm going to tell you real straightforward, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. Crypto, you can't trade crypto. It's open 24/7. It doesn't have the open or closing times like the regular stock market from 6 to 6, for example, or after hours trading, etc. These are things that are not the same. And that's why I do think crypto is more transparent with our Bitcoins, with our Ethereum, and everything that's associated with it. We had an exciting time, and we had these run-ups from, suddenly it was at a dip. 15K, the drop from last time. Oh my God, what's going to happen? Because we touched 69K already one time. and people were euphoric. It was a time, it was unbelievable. And then these dips came. Everyone, by the way, was a crypto expert. I'm no crypto expert. I'm just a nosy guy that over the last couple of years, when this boom came, this dip came, I kept researching. I kept trying to educate myself a little bit further, a little bit more. And I'm very far from a financial advisor. I just love to share what I'm passionate about. And when I heard from friends, acquaintances, from people somewhere else, or even a couple of whispers that were making commentaries about me, oh, he's in this crypto thing and all that kind of stuff. Well, they all said, oh, Dean, sell it. Like, sell everything, sell everything. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but if I would have sold everything, I would have not been able to do certain things that I do now, buy certain things that I now own, or diversify in different type of assets. It's just a small example. It doesn't matter how big or how small, it was just not possible. So what do we what did we learn from the last time? It takes a couple of cycles. Usually they're about 3-4 years. And it takes a couple of cycles to get into this whole kind of stuff. The first cycle is to learn about crypto. The second cycle is to make a little bit of money. And the third cycle, in my opinion, is to, well, to be honest, in a way, it's to retire. If you play everything right, and the most important thing is patience, then the people do have a chance to retire. It just depends on your lifestyle. And I still hear friends where they're like, oh, yeah, I bought this and this and this. And well, why should I wait? I cannot cash out from, like, when it's worth nothing, I'm going to get nothing. Well, it's the same thing as you. If you would have bought Tesla stock, or you would have bought Nvidia stock, or you would have bought Amazon stock back in the day with the .com bubble, that shit all went down into the gutter. Would you hold the .com bubble at the highest point from Amazon or whatever kind of tech company? Oh, you would have loved it right now, because everything went sky high. So I believe that the same thing not is gonna happen, is happening right now, because people bring up these charts. You have some of these YouTubers or streamers or whatever it is, right? And these folks, they bring up these charts and they're like so excited about it all. And it's like very, chart green, great. So they show you this. Oh, it's back up again. Well, first of all, if they show you a chart like that, walk away. First things you want to do, you want to bring the true chart, logarithmic chart. There's always a button over here somewhere. You can click log. By the way, I don't love coin market cap, but it's just easy as an example. And here you see from 2013 or even before where Bitcoin started. It's actually been around a little bit longer than 2011. And the first transaction I can't remember right now, but it was under a cent. Then a couple of pizzas were bought from Domino's for 10,000 Bitcoin, and you can calculate yourself how much that would have been worth right now. But at a certain point, it hit close to $20. It dipped all the way down to $2. That's a big dip. Went all the way up the next time to a new all-time high of 140, short retrace, and went all the way up to 1,077. That was one of those things where 2013 was a big boom within the tech world, Reddit, etc., the forums. People started talking about Bitcoin. I've maybe heard about it in that time, but it wasn't like that significant yet. Then 2015, 2016, people started talking more because the price came up. There was already a couple $100 about in Bitcoin, but I wasn't sold on it yet. The first time I bought was actually in 2017, and it was a little bit closer to the high of 2017 when it ran up to about $19,000. When I purchased, it was more over here, more here, a little bit more over here. But by 2020, that part from 2019, the COVID dip, and then that high from a little bit over 60, 65, and then 69, the double top. I mean, that was just one of those times. It was spectacular, and people were excited, and everyone knew about crypto, and crypto was the next big thing, and there was nothing else in the world anymore. Well, suddenly this whole thing came down to, the 15, 16s, and it was not that exciting anymore. A lot of people lost a lot of money. People leveraged a lot of money, and I mean, I even remember when it was like at a high point over here or something. It's crazy. People got loans and people were just desperate. Well, the only thing that you could have done is you held through here and you made sure that you would have done your dollar cost average and everything would have been okay. But not everyone did that. The same thing, or more or less the same thing, we can talk about with Ethereum. Ethereum is very similar to Bitcoin, but Bitcoin, where it failed, Ethereum succeeded. It's a project that came out a little bit later in 2014, and then 2015 on CoinMarketCap. It got released, and Bitcoin was first created as peer-to-peer cash or a digital cash, and it failed obviously because transaction fees were too high. It was a little bit too slow for like this new age kind of like thing. You can, but it failed. Then it also failed as programmable money. People are like, well, you can do something with like programming, the blocks and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, no, it's not going to work. It's digital gold. And people accept it as digital gold. It's your savings account. And sometimes your savings account goes a little bit down, the price fluctuation. But overall, if you held with everything in a 3.5, 4 year span, you have not lost a dollar. Until earlier this morning, when people bought the top, they did not lose a dollar, no matter at what time you jumped in. Most likely, most folks by now in Bitcoin made money. The rest of it will still make money, in my opinion, because every day more coins are being bought by these huge investment firms. Every single day, a maximum of 900 Bitcoin can be mined. And after April 10th or 14th, there's going to be even less. The block reward will be half, and the price will go up. There could be a dip. We'll see what's going to happen on the market, how people want to dump on your heads. But eventually, it's price performance that's actually built it. But back to this other token, this other cryptocurrency, Ethereum. Ethereum is a blockchain as well, where you can build on, where you can program on. And there's other tokens that live on this blockchain. You got to see it as a freeway, and there's all these different types of cars and programs that are running on it. Now, this is obviously not going to be enough for a one-time kind of stream or video. We're going to need more of that. And at a certain point, we're going to catch up, and I'm just going to go over certain news flashes from our Twitter channel. But it's the same thing. You click the lock chart, and from the start, there was a little dip, and it went only up and up and up and up and up. And it's the same kind of part. It's that same 3-4 year part where there's a dip, there's a high, there's a run up, a bull run. There's a dip, a bear market, a run up, and then the bull run again. And the same thing is happening right now. People are excited about it again. And it's about these halvenings, these halving times from Bitcoin are really setting the pace in the market. And the rest of the crypto market is following that. So if you want to keep track of everything, I think Coinbase is a very decent way to start for people that have questions. And then if you want to go on this Ethereum network and get all these other tokens that you can most likely, these layer 2 tokens, you can make a lot more profits off. Well, then I would say you want to get a MetaMask wallet. You can get it on your phone. And when you install this, write down those 12 words, because that's the most important thing that you can own in this whole crypto world. That's going to be a separate video for next time. And if you want to exchange certain kind of tokens, if you want to go from Bitcoin to Ethereum, you can do that over here. Or if you want to go from Ethereum, because I'm going to talk about this next, for example, you want to go to pulsechain, which is a hard fork from let me see, which is a hard fork from Ethereum, only faster, better, smoother, much cheaper transactions. Well, I can only suggest that. So here you can go from Ethereum to pulsechain. It's the easiest way to get it into your wallet, with many different ways to purchase credit card, direct deposit, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the next part is our crypto machine crew is obviously very active, and I keep retweeting certain things. I keep posting certain things. And this is one of those important parts that people keep saying, oh, this crypto thing. Well, listen, guys, like if this thing has been around since 2011, or let's say more so semi-mainstream since 2013. Well, we're past 2023. It's over 10 years old. It's actually almost 15 years old. Do you guys really think this is going away? Especially when the biggest investments firms are buying billions and billions and billions of dollars, and a new record in terms of ETF investment is being surpassed every day. It's just short before surpassing gold. It's bigger than the three biggest banks together when we talk about market cap. So in 2009, no one uses it. It was just for a few people on the forums. 2012, only drug dealers use it. It was all this kind of like drug money, criminals, etc. How can they kind of like be more anonymous? People were wrong. People didn't know what to really call it. It's not anonymous. You can see every single transaction on the blockchain. That's why it's called a blockchain. It's a digital ledger. It's basically your little notebook with every single transaction, where it came from, where it goes to, and the amount, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The only thing is, for example, me, I only own a wallet address. And that's the only thing. If people see like my name associated, or when I take something out, or because of social media, et cetera, that's a different story. But every wallet address is traceable, basically, on the internet through a block explorer or something like that. Then we have 2015, which is getting a little bit more attention. Only gamblers use it, and that's what we see starting right now again. It's a gamble for a lot of people. So it's a little bit of that casino money. And a very good friend of mine, he's now very, very balls deep into Bitcoin. He bought it through his bank in Europe. And he says, I think it's one of the best things to invest in. He says gold as well, and he'll just see what's going to happen. He's a little bit older than I am, but he calls everything else than Bitcoin, that's casino. And I told him, you're wrong, because there's a lot of things that are also wrong with Bitcoin. But it's the hype. It's the speculation. People don't even care what flaws Bitcoin has or what crypto has. It's just, what is the next big thing? What can push higher? What can make many more multiples? It ain't going to be your bank. It ain't going to be your Wells Fargo or your Bank of America or anything like that. A new all-time high got hit in many different countries today as far as crypto goes. And 2024 and 2025 are going to see crazier all-time highs with over 100K for one Bitcoin. I'm very, 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 very positive about that. 2018 comes around very, very shortly before the next boom. It's only small companies that use it. It's just like, nothing mainstream. It's not the Apples of the world or the Microsoft of the world or anything like that. It's just some companies that we don't really use, that are not very mainstream. And people were wrong again. 2021, only small countries use it, because we heard the news from El Salvador that wants to be prosperous again. They started buying Bitcoin basically at the dip, and they are one of the most profitable countries or instances that have ever purchased Bitcoin. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And people are basically kicking themselves like in the head, because it's a lot of hate against it, and you're not going to be able to change this anymore, because we've arrived 2024. The biggest companies are buying Bitcoin. The ETF for Ethereum will be passed around May. It's a little bit delayed, but they're looking into it. And once the Ethereum ETF will be passed, that's basically when the floodgates will open, because then it's going to be a whole different kind of game. Then we have the king of crypto and all of the other crypto as well. You can separate it in two parts. It's Bitcoin and all the other coins. We call it altcoins. And Ethereum is part of that. And when we have some new projects, for example, like pulsechain, which is an identical copy, the code is literally the same, just updated. The address is exactly the same, etc. It automatically brings a bunch of other high-end tokens or coins into that same playing field. And these ETFs, well, they're going to push for another run-up. Exactly how the ETFs did that right now for this new all-time high. People say it's priced in because nothing happened after the first day, but there's been new record numbers of influx of monies, and this isn't going to stop. Countries will soon announce that they have big bags of Bitcoin. This got shown after a new all-time high got posted after a couple of months of bear market, no one's going to ever tell you when they're buying. Why? Because they're afraid to fail. People always want to like tell you like, oh yeah, I got some Bitcoin, I got some Ethereum. A lot of people lie. They just want to be part of it. They want to belong. They find it cool to belong somewhere. So that's that for this part. The next part, March 4th, 2024. This was the biggest part. So people were buying, and it's running up the dollar amount from crypto in general. Billions of dollars going in. 1.5 or over 2 trillion total market cap in crypto. It's absolutely incredible. I believe that cryptocurrency can completely get rid of the US debt that is right now at 34 something trillion dollars. And when the run up keeps going like this, when people are actually going to allocate some of their funds, because right now it's a tiny fraction of people who are still in crypto, but when the banks are going to be the custodian of Bitcoin, of Ethereum, and everything else, it's only a matter of time, and we're going to be without a debt. This country is going to be probably one of the best countries in the world again. And when you have political uh, politicians, let's say, or candidates for presidential candidates that are already pro Bitcoin. For example, we have people out of Miami, the mayor or businessmen. We have an independent running, Robert Kennedy Jr., for example. He is extremely pro Bitcoin. And if we would have something like this, I believe that with a country that can be energy sufficient, self sufficient, and completely energy independent, and we have something that is backing our money with something modern, like, for example, Bitcoin or blockchain technology, rather, even the Republican candidate, Donald Trump, he just talked about it in the recent interview where he's like, well, people like it. He still believes the dollar is the most important thing, which I believe so as well. But it needs to be backed by something, just like back in the day, it was backed by gold. And at a certain point, we got rid of it. It was legal to have gold. And that is something I'm going to talk about next, because people still think I'm a complete loon bird. And I do think this is exactly how it's going to happen, because at a certain point, inflation is going to go through the roof. There can't be any more money printed, and your money is going to get digitalized. And we're going to have these CBDCs, which are already in process. And the Senate, the House, and the Congress, they're already trying to push for something like that. And in other countries, it's already more than ready to go. The central bank will start issuing central banking digital currency because it's convenient. And people are going to be pushed into this basically under the guise of convenience, of quicker transactions, of safety. But I do think that's an umbrella of a whole lot of baloney, of a whole lot of bullshit. So the last part over here, I think it's something that Warren Buffett said, that is be fearful when others are greedy, which is now, and be greedy when others are fearful. When the markets are red, when Bitcoin was at 15K or even less, or Ethereum was at 1,500, well, people were like, oh no, that's bad. That's really bad. Well, that's the best time to buy, because you already have 3-4-fold your investment. Now, I don't want to buy now at the top of the market. It doesn't matter if it goes to 120K. What's 120K? What am I going to do if I'm going to buy one whole Bitcoin right now at about $60,000? And I have one of them. I can buy a fraction of it, for example, but I'm going to invest my, let's say, $60,000 for one Bitcoin. Okay, I want to have it just for safety, let's say, yeah, because it's the new big thing. And I'm going to have to wait to double my money until it hits $160,000 per Bitcoin. Well, I want to fourfold my money, or I even want to tenfold it. So it would have to be $650,000 to $690,000 right now per Bitcoin. Do I think this is possible? Yes, absolutely. I believe it will go over $1 million per Bitcoin. The time frame is unknown. The next 5 to 10 years is very possible, because of the influx of monies that is possible. Now, do I think that it is exciting for people to invest in something like this? I think people should diversify when it comes down to crypto, just to test the waters. Can you make more money with Ethereum? Most likely, it makes most sense. But can you make even more with layer twos, tokens that are created on top of an Ethereum chain, or hard forks, copies of Ethereum that are better, faster, more modern, more exciting, a higher speculative instrument? And I think it's possible. And that's where we're going to see the 10, 50, 100, 150 fold, and so forth. And people call me crazy, but when I saw my investment go 50 times from what I put in, that's when my brain said, okay, I get it. You have to have balls. You got to go, you know, you got to go in strong. And that's when you're going to reap your rewards. If you're going to go a little bit more cautious, you're obviously going to have a little bit less of those rewards. And that is kind of the similar thing as the casino game. I'm not going to be able to deny any of that. But if people want to make life-changing changes, the decision and the responsibility is onto you. So a little bit more. I talked about this earlier. People are very hot for the number which Bitcoin hit last time. We have it over here. And let's say it was 69K. And today's value, inflation, that number would have been approximately 77 to 79K. For the whole crypto market, it's all great. But when we look at the actual value, we do need more. And I stand by that statement. Here we have all the new all-time highs. And this was, when was this? March 4th, yesterday, about 24 hours ago. And by this time, Bitcoin had already hit a new all-time high. So here we have a yes. In the Swiss francs, we had a yes as well. Hong Kong dollar by that time as well. And it was all less than 5-6% or less than 10%, apart from the Mexican peso. But there we have to talk about a whole different kind of situation that's happening. I believe that's a whole separate story that we can talk about in another time. But I do believe that the whole world is watching what's going to happen with Bitcoin next, because right now it's price discovery. No one can draw up some nice magical chart and drawings and lines and all this kind of stuff. Absolutely not. It's not going to happen. Last but not least, because I'm going to keep this chat a little bit shorter than I normally would. It goes an hour. I'm going to try to make it a little bit shorter. But what people always forget is cryptocurrency is forced not to be reckoned with, and it's not going to go away. And it might sound silly, it might sound crazy, but it's the Mark Zuckerbergs of the world that are in crypto. It's the Jacks or the Elon Musks of the world that are already in crypto for the last 10 years, more or less, or at the beginning. And those people who made already big changes in the world, and they're trying to educate the people of what's going on, they're the ones that are going to own everything, and they're going to run the world at a certain point. And you're going to see this change, which is happening already. And I don't even want to call it change. It's just a transition of power. And we have to be honest. Money runs the world. Money rules the world. It doesn't matter which country it is, really, but eventually, this is where the buck stops, really, as far as power goes. So, this statement, I stand behind it. This is the future you never saw coming, and those who get it will run the world. And I don't care if it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, pulsechain, Hex, Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, whatever it is. People that have that patience, people that are not trying to become a millionaire overnight, there are going to be the ones that see how important it is to actually own some cryptocurrency and go against all this crazy stuff. Because once these big whales are going to jump in whole with the whole everything they got, that's going to be a whole different playing field, a whole different ball game. Because Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Merrill Edge, and all the other ones, it's not something that should be taken lightly. So a few little things still that I might want to share. That was this part over here. That was BRICS. Some people are very familiar. I can actually bring it up over here. That is BRICS announces the new blockchain-based crypto payment system, fresh off the press from Vina de Souza, March 5th, today. The de-dollarization is happening. And a lot of people don't know about this. The petrodollar is basically the dollar that is being used for international transactions between countries, certain companies, and it's mostly all about oil. And that is starting to basically come apart. The petrodollar is no longer, and countries like China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, etc., are now handling transactions not with the petrodollar anymore. And the craziest thing is these countries, the BRICS countries, Brazil, Russia, China, et cetera, et cetera. There's, I think, like now 40 countries that are part of it. They are ready, I think, already with a cryptocurrency, new blockchain-based crypto payment system. And if they're going to use something that is already out today, I don't know. Will they have their own blockchain? BRICS member Russia announced the creation of a new blockchain-based payment system on Tuesday. The blockchain and cryptocurrency-based payment mechanism will be an independent system for trade settlements. The new BRICS payment system will position itself as an alternative option to the US dollar. So what that means is if the US is not going to play this game of being in the crypto currency field, they will lose. And the power of the dollar will continue to go down. And we can then only be happy about one thing, that we have things like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, like Pulsechain, etc. And it will be one of the most important things for people to own crypto, because at a certain point we won't be able to be without, because the cash money will eventually go away, just like we've seen in Australia or other countries where it's happening with a social credit system and all these kind of crazy conspiracy theories that seem to be true come out, and unfortunately are just becoming more of a reality every day than not. So a few little things. People are very excited always about, certain coin market caps, like I posted over here. What is good to see what's going on, for example, on Pulsechain. And we'll talk about Pulsechain a little bit more. We've had crazy numbers happen in the last couple of days. From all-time low, we have obviously percentages which are super exciting. I don't know why I can't zoom in right now, but you can see the numbers. We have from all-time low 300%, 1,000%, 400 something percent. Over the last 7 days, we even have pluses. The last 24 hours, we had a retrace. Less than 20% retrace is super, super, super positive for a very healthy bull market type of structure. So in the last 7 days, everything went completely nuts. And I believe Richard Hart, the creator of some of these currencies, is not someone to overlook. You want more information? Look him up. I think these numbers are very exciting. Don't buy. Do your research. Get excited by cryptocurrency, and if you do have questions, sure, you can always ask me. I'll create more live streams. I'll see which days I'm gonna do it. But I think it's super important to share things that I'm passionate about, that we're all passionate about, and then that we see where the world is moving into. So, without further ado, the last thing I want to share: stay positive. Live that positive life. Find a proper purpose and dream big. That's why I have all this stuff behind me over here. It's positivity. And it's just something that I try to practice every single day. And positivity is the practice of being optimistic in attitude, the ability to choose optimism, even when it's easier said than done. To view the glass half full rather than half empty. It's a mindset. And really, this applies to every single thing that you do in your life, in your relationship, personally, in business, socially, whatever it may be. The way you look at the world, you can be a me every day, or you can just go throughout the day, joie de vivre, the joy of life. It's all up to you. I see people every single day. I help people every single day. And this is why I create a timeless obsession. Today was a little bit more about crypto, but I will share more opinions. I will share more thoughts. I will have conversations with people, because this is what drives me. And I have a feeling it's what drives other people, because I know people want to belong somewhere, and the journey is just about to begin. Life is exciting, and there's always light at the end of the tunnel. It's going to be really, really fun. I'm excited for it to go on that journey with you. Enjoy.